That was the wrong button that I pressed. Hey guys. What's up, Zane? What's up, Dog the Dog? Thank you for the subscription, the watch streak, and apparently the mod streak that I didn't know existed. Mm, Much appreciated, Zane. What's up, Munchin Lex? Um, so, where to begin? Those of you that have been in the Discord have probably seen that I've had a bit of a rough time recently. Um, what's up, Killian? So, I didn't really want to just start out the gate, but I don't think there's any other way to do that. What's up, Moose? Saturday Man Steven? Yeah, yeah. So, to jump right into it, I guess let's start from the beginning. The reason why I was gone on Friday was because I was having, one of the worst mental bouts that I think I've had in a long time. Well, when I say that, it's not like me going crazy or anything. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. I just felt really sad. What's up, Quag? Felt really sad because of a lot of factors, but it was like the final nail in the coffin was what happened Thursday night. Starting from the beginning, I noticed a couple months back, a while back, that one of my friends had been treating me moderately poorly, but it was still enough that I could brush off as a joke, right? Saturday, the part that made it not a joke anymore in my head was I had joined the voice channel and not even 10 minutes in, I had started into a bit. And he blew up at me. I was wondering where that came from, but I decided to just kind of ignore it because maybe he had a bad day, whatever. Keep in mind, the majority of this story that I'm going to be telling is likely to sound very biased in my favor, and I'm going to try as hard as I can to make it sound like not that, but I don't know if it's going to come off as that. Anyway, continuing. The part that got under my skin was maybe Wednesday. I was going on about my usual stuff, just talking about the normal nothing whatever topics that I always do. In this case, it was VTubers, right? I was talking about the first couple of VTubers that I might have watched and what got me into VTubers as a whole. In the middle of me discussing this, my friend just decided to state to everybody in the voice channel that, alright, he's just gonna go. This is lame as hell. And then he disconnects from the voice channel, right? That's the one that made me believe, okay, so something's wrong here. I sent him a message asking what's up. Not really asking what's up, saying that bothered me. And there was the same outburst that happened on Saturday, and I mean, I basically just letting him know that I felt both slighted and a little annoyed. There was nothing like asking for an apology. There was nothing like, hey, what's going on? I just said my feelings. He didn't respond to that. I think this happened Tuesday, actually, not Wednesday. Thursday rolls around. He joins the voice channel alongside everybody else. I try to address the problem in voice since he just didn't respond to me in text. And then this proceeds to spiral into him naming a lot of the negatives about me that have been going on for years, that have bothered him up until the point where we got to here, where a lot of the other friends that we had in the voice channel were in agreement, because they are legitimate problems that I have had for years, where the issue is that I've been doing this streaming thing, this whole thing, for a solid 6 years, and haven't gotten any headway. I haven't held down a normal job since I started this, and don't usually have any money. They have tried to get me to do certain things, like, say, join them at some parties, or do this, that, or other, but, basically, trying to get me to have life experiences is like going through hell and high water. and then I'm not making any progress in the thing that I'm aiming for, and then I'm not, like, improving other aspects of my life. That combined with me talking about what is to them is basically nothing, has at least gotten under one of their skin. And then they've had discussions about this in the past with me about what it is that I've been doing and how I've been approaching it, and have tried to say, give me advice. Sometimes not strictly about streaming, but just in other things about life. And they say that it's like talking to a brick wall, because more often than not, when they talk about these things that they believe that I should do in response to whatever I've stated has ailed me, my response is to not do what they told me, and then do whatever it is that I normally do, and then go back to talking about meaningless BS. So, again, none of that is wrong. However, all of this amalgamating and then blowing up as it did Thursday night, with everybody discussing this to me, where it's like a repeating pattern, but in different forms. Like, there was a time period before where I would just kind of lay on my floor and ask what time it is. There's a different time period where the most recent one is just talking about VTubers. I think there's a number of times where I've spoken about various fighting games. That still happens. And then the number of times where I just speak about any sort of video game that might be entertaining to me at the time. The point being, like, it's still always just nothing that I'm talking about, while also supposedly doing nothing. All of this being piled on at the end of Thursday had me so distraught by Friday morning that I couldn't eat for the majority of that day. I had one meal, and it's not even like a real meal. It was like a small, like, this big plate of a little bit of ground beef. Needless to say, this had consequences that bled over into this morning, where I started dry heaving in front of my toilet because, my stomach is telling me there is something wrong, but there's nothing to vomit, so it's just me having problems. Luckily, after that bout, the nausea went away, and the only thing that I needed was some food, which I got very shortly afterwards. So, basically, in hearing all of that, and being where I am right now, one of the only things that gives me, like, an actual alleviation to this sort of feeling of nausea, and then a little bit of peace of mind, is searching towards things that will, I guess, advance me, so to speak. I'm not really sure where to go. I've kind of hit the point where I have been at a point, and it is now fully in my face, where I am kind of unsure what I should be doing. You've heard me say this before, but now it's like watching all of the cards of my life being splayed out onto the table, and now I have to try to pick them all back up, right? I knew that they were there. I had them in my hand the entire time, but someone, like, slapped them out of my hand, and now I'm just kind of looking at all of it thinking, what was this in the first place anyway, right? I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that's a good analogy. So, I mean, the thing that I've been focused a pretty decent bit on has been trying to get into voice acting, but I'm not really sure where to begin, as I never really am whenever I'm trying to get into this, that, or other. I know that Casting Call Club exists for people to try to find roles. I know that Fiverr exists for people to be commissioned for things like voiceovers, and needless to say, I've signed up for both, only one of which is linked in below the stream, and then Uh, the other one I'm still setting up, but I mean, it's been really slow, partially because I've been dealing with the whole laying in my bed trying to clutch my stomach. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, I biked over to the gym that I usually go to, the gym slash park, and I attempted to see if there are any jobs there, and unfortunately they're not hiring. They just hired for summer, so that's kind of out the window, but I mean, eh. I think the only reason why I was able to do that was because I was distracted, not because, I don't know how to describe that one. That one's a little bit neither here nor there. But, yeah, yeah, that's kind of been my last, like, 3 or 4 days. I know the feeling. I just left a friend group. I know in the OG I'm in someone doesn't like me, but they're pretending. Mm. Mm. From the sound of things, I think the only mistake I would say you made was confronting the friend outside of DMs. I don't think that's right. Apart from that, questioning, am I doing the correct thing? Am I on the right path? Is something every person is familiar with. Yeah, but think about it this way. Some of these people, a good portion of these people that I speak to, are younger than me and have advanced since high school. There's two, three that are older than me. One of them was in the same boat, but they recently got a job and now they're okay. Now they're definitely better off, at least financially. He still has various complaints about his life because, work gets to him, but generally he has stabilized himself a little bit better. The other two that are older than me, they room together. They both have their own jobs. A little bit of the same deal. They don't talk about the things that might be making them miserable if they are, but generally they seem happy enough. The rest that are younger than me, again, they've still advanced past where they were in high school. But all of them have said when they look at me, they say that I haven't really changed since then, which is around 10 years. 10 years of seeing somebody be in the exact same boat, and then also listening to them almost every day talk about the same three things. I can imagine that getting very great. The only part that I dislike about all of this is the way that that friend of mine blew up. Because they started with, I annoy the hell out of it. But at the same time, I've been thinking, I mean, if they've been sending me the small signs before, where it's like, hey, this needs to change, and it's been nice, and none of that gets through, then, I mean, I think the only thing that would have shaken me up the way that they wanted it to was for him to do what he just did, where he blows up at me. But also at the same time, at the end of the day, my thought is still, I do not want to change the approach at which I have made to do this entire thing. I don't want to change the formula. I do not want to change the amount of time that I might spend in it. I do not want to change the routine, so to speak. Which is why at the end of the conversation, I think that's one of the bigger things that caused my stomach to twist into a knot. Because it's like, even when all of the world comes crashing down on me at the end of all of that, when it's like, we come to the end of the rope, the final straw has hit the camel's back, and then it breaks. I still, at the end of it all, don't want to adjust. I still want to keep on trucking the way that I've been trying, and maybe adjust a little bit more in the way that I'm doing it, but not not adapt, so to speak. I mean, I do have a job and there are pros and cons, and I'm getting pretty burnt out, I'd say. It's worth taking time to find something you'd want to do. I can't really attest to the 10-year thing since 10 years ago I was in school. There are people at my job who could do so much, but it feels harder to change paths once you started going down a road. That's part of the thing that's a bit of a difficulty to me, right? I've been doing this for like 6 years, and I mean, it's something that I can definitely say that I enjoy, and I don't want to change to a different path that strays away from this, even if it means that at some point I might come back to this path fully. I just don't know where to go at this point. Sorry that I'm, like, dropping all of this on all of you at once, and I see that the chat has gone quiet, even though I know that, or at least I would hope that some of you have stuck around, but, shoot, I AFK, didn't hear the whole story. I mean, the VOD is being made in real time. If you need to hear something again, then open up another instance of my stream, and then, rewind. Or, alternatively, sub to the channel. Then you get real-time rewind feature. Is going down multiple roads at once hard/impossible? Hard depends. Impossible, no. It would be a little bit difficult for me, because one of the bigger problems, one of them that was mentioned from, from the main one, was that I can't drive, right? I'm 28, and I cannot drive. And in America, at the very least, that's a pretty big thorn in your side. Like, this is part of the reason why he says, like, I have no life experiences, and that annoys the hell out of me. So, I mean, I don't really know what to say. Yeah, I didn't think that you would. I didn't think that anybody would. I just wanted to let you guys know so that I don't just, like, very suddenly fall off the face of the earth or something, and then all of you are wondering, hey, what happened to the one guy I used to watch a couple of times on stream? What's up, Raven? I live in NYC, so it's not as bad, but still, I'm 32 and I haven't driven anything. But, like you said, you live in NYC. You can get away with it. I live in Florida. Most places are too far apart to, like, reasonably get by without driving. As for the multiple roads and whether or not it's hard or impossible, I think it's less... It's less the difficulty of it, and more the lack of knowledge on the direction that I would be going with both of it, right? Because I have a general idea of where I want to be with this. And then incorporating something else on top of it that would bleed into the schedule and shift things up with possibly how I stream, possibly the time in which it takes for me to go to the gym, possibly the time where I am just trying to relax and just, have some time with my friends. That, I guess the best way for me to put it is the idea of such scares me. As childish as that may sound. Always get a part-time job. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking about doing. It's also expensive. A car to drive. Oh, yeah. It's just definitely expensive now, given what's been going on, but that's a little bit of a different topic. In my case, I'm 32, have never driven, I hate people, I don't like noise, I need peace and quiet. I like collecting games and statues. And I don't like going outside if it's not with my friend group. And I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. That's mostly how I felt for a long time. But the difference between you and me, or one of the main differences that I believe are between you and me, Munch and Lax, is you have a job, right? You have a job that makes you a stable income. You're able to live. I don't know exactly your living situation, but you are able to live where you are without, I'm not going to say without issue. I don't know your life. I cannot make claims like that. I can only say from what I've seen with your experiences, with how you've communicated to me what is happening with you and your life. I don't know, like, the infrastructure of where you live, and if you can just be okay with not driving where you are. It's not just a matter of me feeling whether or not I've missed out on parts of life. I will admit that I do feel as though I have missed out on parts of life. Not that I cannot go and experience them, but they have passed where the normal instance of most people meeting that what's the word? That what's the word I'm looking for? Marking stone, stepping stone. Where most people have usually met that stepping stone and then continued off to do this, that, or other. Then I've sort of just not gone to it, not even walked past it. I just haven't hit it. You're not really an unk. I know I'm not really an unk, but it's still the idea of I'm a 28-year-old man that still lives with his mother and cannot drive and has not worked a normal job for the past 6 years. And then any time that you're around me, I decide that the things that I'm going to talk about are video games, VTubers, or fighting games. I know that's still in the video game ballpark, but you know. And then one part that I believe bothered him a lot is that I will make certain claims about, I guess, life that are out there that he's like, where this is coming from someone that has absolutely no life experiences. How can you make this claim? Is basically what I believe he meant when he said what he said. And I mean, he is right. In most cases, I try to say, like, I have not experienced X or Y. I can only say the logic that my mind tells me about what I have experienced up until, at the very least, up until this point. It is like this, that, or other. But he didn't give a specific example of the things that I've claimed that made him believe such. My man, you ain't even 30. It sounds like you hit 80 and feel like you wasted your life. Yeah, I know. It's the age part. I don't know. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's not the issue. It's mostly just like the way that I'm going to describe it here is like it feels as though for the past, I don't know how long, I've been joining The Voice trying to talk to everybody, and then unintentionally and unknowingly being a nuisance to the majority of them, up until the point where at least one person finally had enough of it, voiced it, the rest of them agreed with the majority of it, and now I'm a little bit too embarrassed to show my face. Not a little bit. I am too embarrassed to show my face. And now I need to do something to start moving forward in my life. However, I still just do not know what exactly it might be. Part-time is still a major commitment, I think, time-wise. I think that's also still it depends. You have to treat your future self right, which is hard, as silly as that sounds. That doesn't sound silly. That sounds right. My problem that I've kind of always had is that I didn't really know, or I guess don't really know now, where to go. Hey, Was Fuzz. Just popping in to say you're gonna get through it, bro, whatever you decide. Thanks. Depending on where you live, city, I know who doesn't have cars. I know people who don't have cars whatsoever. Out in the sticks, though, yeah, you need some wheels. In Strong's defense, we're expected to do a lot by the time we're 30-something, and it's getting harder and harder to hit those milestones. That's the word I was looking for. Milestones, thank you. You really want this man on the road? I mean, if your goal is to change these things, just focus on small things. You mentioned driving specifically, sign up for driving lessons. This is part of the problem, right, Moose? Where I'm still in a boat. I'm still in the boat where, like, that's not one of my short-term goals to learn how to drive. And then that's where the thought of, like, I still don't know what I'm doing comes from, right? Where I'm in the boat where I don't exactly want to learn how to drive because it's not within the path that I think that I still want to pursue. And because of that, I want to sidestep that. And then I still end up thinking, like, wait, but what if that's wrong? I'd feel like whatever you end up doing, the decision has come from yourself. Otherwise, you'll beat yourself up over it forever. That's what my mother keeps telling me. And that's right. I know that that's right. It's still a matter of, like, again, I don't know what I want anymore. I just don't know what actually is the right path. I don't know which direction it is that I need to start walking. I don't know. For the past 6 years, I've felt the direction that I wanted to go into, and that's why I've done this. That's why I've woken up at, like, at 8 a.m. every freaking day, almost every day, and then sat in front of my computer playing a video game with no break for 4 hours straight, but then leaving the rest of my day. That's part of the reason. That I'll get into that in a second. And then I've done this, like, I've done this for 6 years straight, only ever taking at maximum like a week off. When I say that, I mean like in a string. I've taken multiple instances of at maximum a week off, but ultimately I still just do this, and I just keep doing this, and I keep doing this. But part of one of the issues that was brought up was that they said that there are people that put more time in their hobbies than I do into streaming. And, I mean, I can't say that that's wrong. Part of what I wanted to do at the beginning of this year is spend more time making clips, spend more time making videos, hence why I made another video, the Deadlock video, where it's just me talking about the game. It's not me taking oodles of time trying to 100% a game, and then, throwing together a video at the end of, like, a year's time span. I don't know how long. The Deadlock video took, like, when did I start making it? I don't know when I started making it, but it was multiple months worth of time, which is still bad. Literally any goal that represents a change, that was just an example. Write down a list of things you want to accomplish in a year. I feel you. I don't know what to do outside of my current. I already read that. Why'd I read it again? I don't think there's a correct answer. I feel pretty lost right now, too. I do have a goal, but the path is so hazy, I don't know if I'll be able to reach the finish line. That's the other thing that's, like, that's what's been bothering me for 6 years, longer than since this was brought up with my friend group, where it's like, I have this goal with the streaming, but because it's so heavily, like, luck-based, I guess, in a lot of instances, and there is, like, manipulation to it. There is a certain amount of control you can have once you get past a certain barrier. I'd still, it's still unsure, and that has still led me to believe, like, have I gone about the right path, you know? And then it becomes, like, the debate that I've had of, like, would I be happier taking a different route that is more sure, even if it's not the main thing that I was aiming for? Or, like, what matters, right? What is there's the path that I aim for, and there's not achieving it, and the sadness that I get from that. But then there's the idea of going down a different route that isn't the thing that I aimed for, and having pluses of that, but it's not the thing that I aimed for, and the sadness of that. And it's me trying to weigh what makes more sense. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Content creation is extremely difficult. The grind and the amount of trial and tribulation to even get close to make it is so small. You mean like the trial and tribulation you mean that's big? I might be reading this incorrectly. Or you might have typed it incorrectly? I'm not sure which. Like, you mean that there's a lot to go through to actually make it so that this is a sustainable career path. One of the bigger problems about this is also whenever the topic of, like, what it is that I'm doing comes up, or yeah, when someone questions what it is that I do or what I plan to be doing, and I tell them this, I feel like an idiot whenever I try to bring it up. I feel like an idiot stating like, yeah, the thing that I've been trying to do is be a professional e-clown. But I don't know if that stems from me just being ashamed that I do it in the first place, or if that stems from the fact that this isn't sustainable as it is, and I don't know when it will be. I mean, I also wouldn't want to completely change myself to fit my audience's expectations of me. But this isn't like, I get, when you say audience, you're not talking about specifically the people that watch, say, a stream. You're talking about, I guess, any general people that you might spend your time with, or might spend their time with you. In this case, it is my friend group. Yeah, bad wording. I get what you meant. Don't worry. But yeah. I feel like most, if not all of the things that I wanted to address, I have gotten off of my chest. Once again, I am I am sorry if this has shaken any of you up in any sort of way. I would hope that it hasn't. How you doing, Uncaused Unicorn? Do you have a job, since most content creators still have a full-time job until they make it? I do not. Not at the moment. There was a short period of time in the beginning of me streaming where I did. I tried to work in a school as an after-school counselor, and that was causing me enough... If I use mental duress, that's a little bit too much. That was causing me enough discomfort that eventually I resigned. Not because of the students themselves, but because I felt like I was doing my job right. Which is another issue that I feel like I've struggled with for a non-insignificant amount of time. Where it doesn't really feel like... It doesn't really feel like I'm doing the right thing no matter what I do, and this was the only ballpark where that was kind of not the case, and even now, that's starting to fade, which is bad. This has really not been your year. You're telling me. All of this started because I used to have this ritual where the first game I would play of any new year was Kingdom Hearts 3. Because my frickin' computer exploded and all that, and I couldn't actually play KH3, and I messed up the ritual. It's the worst year of my life. We broke the chain. Broke the chain of memories. It's fine. Sometimes you just gotta get it off your chest. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It still feels a little bit strange because, I mean, from a lot of people's perspective, not so much mine, this kind of just sounds like somebody shouting complaints into the ether, into just a bunch of strangers on the internet. And I wouldn't say that any of you are strangers to me. I mean, I recognize your names. You guys are here almost every day. I care about all of you, like, pretty, not immensely? Immense. I care about you the way that I do, like, any sort of fellow man, right? Like, because I was saying even before with, like, what was happening with Gertlocker that happened on Wednesday, where I mean, he had, like, the outburst that he tried to offend me as hard as possible and then left. The reason I stopped that stream wasn't because what he said shook me up, it was instead because I was worried for him. I wanted to try to message him and say, hey, there's a misunderstanding here. Are you okay? What's going on? But unfortunately, I couldn't. Either he has blocked me, or the fact that he left the Discord and now we don't have and we don't have like a mutual server to be a conduit to our messages. I couldn't get through to him. I guess I could have sent him a friend request, but when I am the ire of his enmity, it's a little bit hard to try to send him a friend request, right? I feel like it would be inappropriate. Horny ass, maybe they were right. You feel better having been able to just get it out of your system? Yes, but mostly just because I'm not leaving any of you in the dark. I guess there is a little bit of alleviation of, like, being able to talk about it with people that are not just my mother. We aren't around each other IRL, and we don't know how we would deal with each other IRL, but y'all are cool, though, not corny. It's hard, but most first steps are, but this isn't a first step, and not from my perspective. I don't know what you would be calling a first step. Oh, I must have been something big this week. Hope Gert is okay. I think it's been an ongoing problem that something that I said was like the final nail in the coffin. It's something that pushed him over the edge a little bit. First step to make up to mend broken friendships, I guess. Oh, that's what you mean. Like sending him a friend request. I guess you're not wrong. I guess after today's stream, I'll do so. Also gives him some time to cool down. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's been a couple of days. It probably would be best to try to message him again now. But I don't know if this is something that I should bring up, but I guess I feel it's worth mentioning as well. Another topic that was stated during the entire back and forth with everybody was, like, people enabling me, so to speak. Like, say my mother, and her letting me do what I'm doing right now, even, with just, staying at home, getting up, playing video games on the computer for 4 hours, and then going and just doing whatever right after. Then they also decided to take a little bit of the blame because they're in the voice channel every day and they give me a place to spend my free time instead of, like, doing, I guess, critical work to advance this, that, or other. It's like, keep in mind, they're not, like, mad at my mother or anything. It's just a matter of, from their perspective, I'm doing nothing. From my mother's perspective, I'm trying something, but it hasn't been fruitful yet. And from possibly both theirs, definitely from my perspective, I'm not sure if the only reason why my mother has let me do this for so long is because she does not know very much about this entire industry as a whole, or if it's because she actually just wants to let me do this. She actually just wants to let me try and then possibly fail anyway. If you do message him, send him one and leave it. That's what I tried to do. But like I said, the message didn't go through because of the reasons I stated before. Either us not sharing a mutual server or him blocking me. I don't know which. Um, hmm. I don't want to keep apologizing, but that's kind of where I'm at, right? I'm kind of at the mental state where I'm like, I'm sorry for doing the things that I've done, even if they haven't directly harmed anybody. Probably a bad mental state to be in. So, yeah. So no Street Fighter 6. I'm glad that I can count on you to, like, to lighten the mood. Uh, I do appreciate you guys still making me laugh with the whole, like, Chain of Memories bit and the Street Fighter 6 and so on. Wait, was this combo about Gert? No, he was just a part of it. He wasn't a part of the friend group that the first words that come to mind are tore into me, but that makes it sound harsh. And maybe I should use those words if it was something that screwed me up for an entire day where I couldn't eat. I don't know. Damn, no jury stream feels bad, man. Found the foot fetishist? Yeah, found the other foot fetishist. I'm trying to think if there's, like, anything else that I felt or feel the need to address. I don't think that there is. I mean, I guess it's like, what would be happening going forward? But I already stated the main thing that I've been looking into that I believe that I would enjoy alongside this. I know that I would also be able to, like, maintain streaming and do that as, like, voice acting, because I know that there are a lot of larger streamers that are also voice actors. Whether or not they have a consistent stream schedule, I'm not really sure about. But like I said, the issue is not really knowing how to get into that field in the first place, because the only places that I know that would even begin with that would be like Cast and Call Club and Fiverr. Maybe take a break from streams to think over some stuff. I was thinking about that. Like, take a break from the entirety of next week Mm. But I know that I'm gonna feel like garbage for that entire week if I do. What's up, Swayze Snake? Oh, for a minute there I thought Steven got a legit VA job. I wish. Not yet. This is kind of a serious discussion, Swayze Snake, and I think you might have jumped in at the end of it. So apologies if the mood doesn't quite feel right. Take a break from online to detox. I don't think that it's... I don't feel like being terminally online is the issue for me, is the thing. You say take a break from online to detox, but I guess it's not like... I don't know. Like, I'm thinking, what does that mean exactly? Because being online... I'm not, like, getting super angry about, like, minor... who cares whatever topics. I'm not getting super politically charged. I'm still trying to treat my fellow man like they are a fellow man. I do not feel as though I have been... I'm gonna use the term radicalized. I already said that, but, you know. You know what's crazy? I'm projecting. Bruh. And don't drop off the face of the earth without telling us. That's why I said... That's why we're doing this right now, just to make sure that if I do disappear, you guys know why. I have a similar problem, I think. Maybe it's worth it. Take a week off. Think about what you can and want to do moving forward. I'll mull it over after today's stream, as well as on Sunday, and hopefully by the end of, at the very least, Sunday, I'll be able to give you guys a full-on, yeah, this is happening or this isn't happening. Also, side note, but is not quite relevant yet. I don't know if I should state this one. Actually, there's no harm in telling you guys. Side note, I signed up for the Sajam Slam, and I'm hoping that I'll be selected this time to actually participate in it. No guarantees, obviously, as there never are. But, you know, I'm hoping. Good luck. What is that? It's Sajam's online tourney. It's the really big online tourney that has a whole bunch of people, usually from NA, though. You have to sign up, and then Sajam will select people of varying ranks, and then Sajam will select people of varying ranks, and then organize teams with a coach, and then however many players, and then you all go into, you know, whichever big tournament and keep going. Tourney, interesting? Yeah. Specifically, this one is 2xKO. So, What game is it, or do we not know yet? It's 2xKO, as I just said. Oh, damn, Bedge. If I recall, it's round robin style. I'm not sure. I do not actually know. It's been a minute since I watched the Sajam Slam. You know, I wasn't even thinking about the music that's been playing, and whether or not it's been, like, adding or subtracting from the mood. Either way, the VOD viewers don't get this luxury, right? They don't get the luxury of knowing what the music might have sounded like. They could put on whatever sappy music they wanted. Steve got to create his own StrongmanSteven Slam, and it's going to be nothing but the best game ever, Shaq Fu. I assume you mean the first one, because the second one's a beat-em-up. If I were to create a Strongman Slam, I think it would just be called Body Slam, right? That would make more sense. That would make the most sense. There was a short period of time where I tried to organize an online tournament called the Strongman Straight Punch, but, I mean, I just never went through with it. And then the graphic that I had a friend of mine put together for it, that was lost with the old hard drive when it blew up. I'm still yet to see if I can plug it back in and it'll magically work, or if I can send it to like a data recovery center and have them be able to salvage something, even though those are usually for hard drives and not SSDs. But son, you had a bad day. Uh, Body slam, we play in Melty Blood in a public restroom. Yeah, boy, give me that JC! Ikuyo! Feet slam, I hate it here. By the way, the new Yacht Club game, Mina the Hollower, came out. It's pretty good. It's like Link's Awakening combined with Castlevania. It's a good time. I saw that, or I saw some people playing it. And, I mean, I wasn't fully thinking about the game, nor was I really watching the streams in which they were playing the game, nor was I really watching very many streams at all, or at least not absorbing whatever was going on in said streams. Isn't Yacht Club the Ape NFTs? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Yacht Club are the people that made Shovel Knight. Whether or not they have anything to do with NFTs, I couldn't tell you. This is also worth mentioning. Because I feel like as I've explained a lot of the things that have happened with that friend group, might have vilified some of them, which is not my intention. Because at the end of the day, all of this, the only reason why they bothered to take the time to do this, at least for all except maybe the first one that started this whole thing, they all had this discussion because they do care for me. They do enjoy being around me. They do want what's best for me. They're just in the same way that my brother asked me the whole question of he's wondering when I'm going to grow up. It's the same ballpark. They're just worried for me. They want to see me succeed. There was an NFT called Bored Ape Yacht Club. Oh, that. Okay, I see. I'm not assuming anything about any of these friends. I don't know them. I don't know what their relationship with you is like. I'm not judging. Okay. I mean, that's your perspective, but I don't know about anybody else. I want to make sure that no one believes that these people are bad people, because none of them are. Some of them may be abrasive, but none of them are bad. Hopefully this lights a fire in you to do what you gotta do. Mm. It lit something. The problem is that it's kind of like a... I don't know how to explain it. I guess like a forest fire. It's not like a candle or something that's controlled. It's just like it's something that's throwing my body into a feeling of there's something wrong. Something needs to happen. Something needs to be fixed right now. But the rest of me is like, okay, what is it? And then the body's like, I don't freaking know, dude. I'll head out. Y'all have a good one, or as good as can be. See you, Killian. I hope your day goes good, goes well, better than mine. That's the great part, nobody knows. Cool. That's what I keep getting told, which kind of has me wondering, like, I don't know why are we doing this, but I guess the idea is still the fact that I don't really do anything. At least they're all doing something. I'm not doing anything. We're all just LARPing. True. I think this is where I should stop. Don't know. I don't think I have it in me to just, like, play a game on stream for all of you right now. And I do not believe there is any more that I would like to discuss about what has been going on. I don't think there even is any more to discuss in general. I think I've told you just about everything, which, going back to the stream title might be like I've overshared. But, you know. Surely next Saturday will be a fighting game. Trauma dumping event stream, let's go! Hey, Sir Salsal, I wasn't here, do it again. No. No, I will not. You can come over to my house, we'll play Mahjong. Oh boy, Mahjong! Today was a fighting game, the Inner Demons fighting game, true. I just hope everything works out for you in the end, Steven. Thanks, I appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I think this is where we're gonna stop. I don't have it in me to play a game, and I don't believe that this is the vibe to have to try to send you guys to another person. So instead, I'm just gonna let you know that, I mean, I'm hoping that I'll have myself back together to stream next week, but there aren't any guarantees. None at all. But, yeah. See you for the time being, at least. Thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it.